things that bring people into our downtown. And
Absolutely.
we can't really expand those roadways either.
Yeah.
Not like the freeway where, okay, hey, we're seeing growth, let's add another lane and another lane and another lane. We can't do that.
The number one question people will ask is, where can I park? I mean, that's just always the question, right? Which is usually followed by this misconception that's always out there, and that there's no parking downtown.
What we're doing and the decisions that we're making, how we're growing the downtown, or even just the city as a whole, the data really speaks to how our end users are interacting with our downtown.
Looking for real stories of real people making a difference in the Grand Canyon State? Welcome to Finding Arizona podcast. We sit down with Arizona's inspiring entrepreneurs, creatives, and community leaders and give you a front row seat to their journeys, passions, and projects. Whether you're a local trying to find a hidden gem or just enjoy watching someone chase their dreams, Finding Arizona is your go-to place for authentic conversations with a desert twist. New episodes drop weekly, so hit subscribe and start exploring Arizona one story at a time.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Finding Arizona podcast. I'm your host, Jose, and every week we bring in someone very special. Today, we have two someones, and I'm very excited today because I'll be very upfront. I went to school at ASU, and Tempe is the city that it resides in, and it is one that I am very excited to share today. Bethany and Anthony, who are coming to us to speak about Tempe TRiP, which is an acronym. I believe the acronym, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on this? It is Transportation, Routes, Information, and Parking. So we're going to be discussing a little bit about the new updates or what they're going to be facilitating with that information. But also, we tend to have a conversation with the actual people who are on our show. So, Bethany, Anthony, I would start with Bethany. Please introduce your what you work with Tempe, and then like what your career, actually your title is, and then we'll go Bethany first, and then Anthony.
Sure. Thanks so much. Thanks for having us on today. So yes, Bethany Kennedy. I am the Director of Strategic Marketing and Communications for Downtown Tempe Authority. We are a BID, which is another acronym for Business Improvement District. So we keep downtown Tempe fun, clean, safe, distinct, vibrant. We do a lot of different services. And so as marketing and communications champion, or chief storyteller, as I like to say,
yes,
I get to talk about all the things that are happening, the work that we do, and let people peek behind the curtain at what our staff is up to. I love it.
Thank you, Bethany. And now, Anthony, as I want to say Vice President. Am I correct in saying this?
That is correct, yes. Thank you for having us on today. So been with Downtown Tempe for the last 11 years, actually, just recently.
That's amazing.
Overseeing the parking mobility operations. It's a management service that we provide in the bid, not only to the municipality, but the private interests as well, that occupies those 26 blocks that we're in downtown Tempe.
Absolutely.
And it's anywhere from parking management services, providing onboarding of new parking clients, from the corporate side to the residential side, all the above, overseeing the on-street parking operations, enforcement operations, for all of those things, and then the clean and safe teams that help keep downtown clean and safe in a welcoming environment.
Well, thank you both again for sharing a little bit about yourself. And just again, I believe one of the things that makes Tempe great is, again, people like yourselves who are doing the work and making sure that when you're experiencing a town, a city, or place like Tempe, that it is well first in like walkability, connection, and just overall a kind of branding style where people are enthusiastic and want to just explore and help those who are on that route. So again, I appreciate both of you for your actual what you do for your careers. Anthony, I would love to, because I kind of got a background story off air, but behind how Bethany got here. I would love to just, again, this is a question we ask everyone. Give us a little bit of your origin story about how you got to this path.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So just kind of, I'm born and raised here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm also a twice over alumni at Arizona State University, so go Devils.
Go Devils.
Yeah, just when I was looking at, my career path when I was going to school, I came across, urban planning with an emphasis in transportation and man management.
Nice.
I've always been fond of our roadways and freeways and everything, and how efficient it is to get in, around, and through
Yes.
Phoenix as a whole versus, some of the other older states within our nation. And
Yes.
for whatever reason, it intrigued me. So
Yeah.
went to ASU for urban planning, and halfway through, I got the opportunity to land a position,
Mhm.
a glorified parking attendant. Yeah.
You got to start somewhere, right?
Yep. That he was our old director, Adam Jones. Has been in the industry for the last 30 plus years, so was very, very well known and understands how all of the parking mobility stuff works definitely in an urban setting.
Yeah.
And so I got the pleasure to kind of mentor under him over several years. And, after I graduated, I was kind of moving up and became an area supervisor and
Yeah.
manager. And, here
Just
I am
all the
now.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really got to get involved in all the different
Sure.
positions too, from, collecting the meters on street to, processing parking transactions, people's tickets as they're coming out of the parking garage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then being a part of integrating technology into our ecosystem as well.
For sure.
And that's been a big proponent of our operation over the last couple of years. And kind of what brings us to what we're going to be talking about today is Tempe TRiP, which you've already mentioned, and just really continuing to grow the operation and the brand of Tempe, and addressing those challenges that we've seen, especially in a rapidly developing urban setting.
Yeah.
To really listen to our end users and provide them with the tools necessary to be able to navigate our downtown.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for sharing a little bit of your history. I know from Bethany's standpoint, you're as well as a native? Like, explain how you got here really quickly, because I know you explained it to me, but I want our listeners to go ahead and just have a little quick synopsis of like what happened to you to get here.
Sure. So I started in hospitality, working in hotels, and just had a passion for customer experience and really helping people have really unique, memorable experiences. I loved it. And I was able to really forge a path for myself. I am not from Arizona, by the way.
Yes.
My career started in the Seattle area.
That's right. Sorry.
Yep. And so weather very different there, which I'll get to why I landed in Arizona in a minute. But
Yeah.
I really forged a path for myself, within the customer experience, and kind of moved in what I consider an intentional but also unique path, in that I went from for-profit hospitality to nonprofit,
Yes.
to public sector, where I actually worked in city government for a number of years in a leadership role within Washington State. And that is really where I found my passion for the greater community and building experiences for the community and businesses and all the things that bring people to a specific area and how long they stay and why they're coming there. And so when my family and I were in search of, well, I'll be honest, less clouds and rain.
Yeah, get
and
it.
we, as I like to joke, I've been an unofficial resident of Arizona for 17 years, because I've been visiting here for 17 years, four times a year, to see my family who moved here one by one.
Yes. Okay. That makes that shows a little bit more of like what's going on here. And I appreciate you for at least being honest enough, like, hey, I'm not native, but it's like, hey, I know enough to get in trouble, and like I know what's going on here. So it's again, it's an incredible thing that you've both have chosen career paths that have not only spoken to you, but also have influenced so much of like where you call home. And that is incredible. So I'm going to now ask Anthony. I like to start chronologically. So I'm going to go back to the almost beginning of like actually let's give a little bit of history of Tempe, one of the older cities in the Phoenix area. It was I want to say like a hub for trains like coming in and doing that. And then it's, the mill is there. The Mill Avenue is actually a former flour mill. And as it progressed along and as we've evolved, you have Arizona State coming in. There's so much more to the history. But what I'd actually like to ask you is, you brought up the thing about the actual infrastructure of Phoenix. One of the things that makes us particularly interesting is that we run a Jeffersonian grid system, which is just squares. And instead of going towards the more traditional East Coast pattern, which is, a lot of infrastructure is guided by the elevation, cutting through certain paths, avoiding certain areas. Can you give your sense of how Phoenix has evolved in the infrastructure side, and what was one of the first technology resources that Tempe implemented for the city at large?
Yeah, that's a good question. Kind of complicated.
Yes, very
But I would
complicated,
say,
but I would love to, because you brought up the actual intriguing part, which is like the infrastructure here in this city and also throughout the state is very unique to the state and some of the West Coast states rather than the East Coast states, which is very different in how they travel and put in infrastructure.
yeah. Well, for Tempe specifically, um, so a lot of for downtown, I should say. So
Mhm.
Tempe in whole is, if I'm not mistaken, roughly 14 square miles. It's
Okay.
landlocked. As
Yes.
cities around it, we can't sprawl anymore.
Yes.
So we have to be very intentional with how we develop any parcel of land
Mhm.
within Tempe.
Mhm.
And with it growing, so rapidly like that, there's a lot of private land
Mhm.
that really is owned by the municipality. And then we also share a lot of the downtown with Arizona State.
Yes.
So there's a unique uh, nuance there, especially
Yes.
with Arizona State, the private developers, where they do come in and want to develop something that they know is going to be to bring economic value
Yeah.
uh, to the downtown or to their parcel of land,
Mhm.
and that's where it can start to get tricky, especially right
Yeah.
now where previously there used to be a lot of undeveloped land. It used to be
Mhm.
parking lots.
Yeah.
We were able to serve the community as ASU. We're a very uh, entertaining type
Mhm.
downtown to
Yep.
where we have that big influx of vehicles coming in
Mhm.
and going out. It's
Mhm.
not always on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, but we are very events heavy and
Very,
entertaining.
very, very event heavy, if I
Yeah,
may implement in the sense of like, I mean, good golly, there's so much that goes on with you guys, and I can't imagine you wrapping your head after like every session of an event, and then it's like, we're done, and then it's like, no, we have this next week.
no, that's how I've stuck around for 11 years. I don't realize like how fast the time goes because it is one event after another. Once
Absolutely.
ASU comes into session, that first football game kicks off our event season.
Mhm.
And it almost feels like every weekend there
Constant.
is
Yep.
something happening, especially when the weather starts getting good. We have concert series, arts
Mhm.
festivals, second Sundays.
I
Like
mean, just everything under the sun. I mean, you have also it's like Gamage runs their program. You have all sorts of like even on the outer skirts of that 2 mile, you have other things going on that are the Tempe Improv. You have all sorts of other events going on in the vicinity of like 5 square miles. Like doesn't seem like much, but in the sense of what we're talking about, it is a lot of things going on.
oh yeah, yeah. And
Um, go ahead.
no, that Bethany's team, the event side of the DTA, activating, the main avenue, Mill Avenue in the winter time, activating Tempe Town Lake. Just there's all sorts of things that bring people into our downtown, and
Absolutely.
we can't really expand those roadways either.
Yeah.
Not like the freeway where, okay, hey, we're seeing growth, let's add another lane and another
Yeah.
lane and another lane. We can't
Mhm.
do that. So
Yeah.
being able to inform people and manage the ingress and egress on our road systems into downtown and out of the downtown uh, is challenging.
Yeah, of course.
And with the surface lots starting to become developed, it brings people to those areas, but then they're not sure where they can park because it's no longer in their face. It's, you're just driving down the street, you see a service lot, and it's like, oh, I can park there. Well, now that's gone. There's a big tower there.
Yeah.
People aren't sure. Well, can I park there? Is there public parking?
Exactly.
So that brings a new challenge to this growing urban area that we really didn't have the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, that's another thing that's like, again, when you look at the history of Tempe, when it starts off as just horse and buggies, it works in this, like you can look at all the old pictures. The roads don't have the sidewalks. They're all just like old Western fronts for people to walk on and ride along in their carriages and stuff like that. As you guys have developed the actual sidewalks and infrastructure, things have changed, things have evolved. Streets, are doing like growing smaller in like size. And so overall, I'm just saying there's a development process and how we have seen the growth of Tempe in a scope of like just massive evolution, massive increase in population. And that is something that you guys are working strenuously hard on to make sure that people who are coming to visit or people who are already here have a means to not only locate a very easy enough parking that is associated with actually being allowed to park there, but also on top of that, that the routes that go to the main areas are very much walkable for the pedestrians and for the clientele. What I'd like to ask Bethany now is give us a little bit of, as you've come in and as you guys have started to take on this challenge of letting people know, what was the first encounter of like, okay, we need to fix something here? What was like the first issue that needed to be addressed? And then why, I would love to hear from both of you, is why you chose Modi as a system for Tempe TRiP.
Great questions. I'll let Anthony answer the second part of that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think what I can speak to is, being on the events and engagement side where we're working with merchants and we're communicating things about our events and things that are happening and trying to encourage people to come downtown. The number one question people will ask is, where can I park? I mean, that's just always the question, right? Which is usually followed by this misconception that's always out there, and that there's no parking downtown.
Yeah. Well, like one of the things that Anthony brought up, was the fact that you guys are evolving so rapidly that, I'll be honest, like I haven't been down to Tempe since a year ago. And well, not a year ago, probably like 6 months ago. But the sense of like, holy moly, it changed so much in like a year, even probably 6 months, where you're just like, this wasn't here before, and it was a parking structure, it was parking lots, and now it's like you said, a tower or some kind of structure where it's now different. So as you guys evolve so quickly, it's hard to announce these sort of things to the mass and to the public, where it's like, hey, like you can shout all you want and cheerlead and throw all the media, but it's like, a lot of people who are visiting or like, just coming from out of town, they don't know. They have no idea. And so, again, I'd say that to just defend and be the person who's like, yes, you guys are doing everything you can, because so much is changing and so much is evolving that you just want them to be well informed.
Exactly. Again, it's about that experience. And when people are coming downtown, we want it to be easy for them to get here, to be able to get around. That's going to benefit the businesses. It's benefiting our our events. It's making, it's making Tempe that desirable place for people to come and go. And we're fortunate. We have a really big fan base of people who are coming to Tempe again and again. But with our events, as new people are moving to Arizona, they're coming downtown. They're not used to, these multi-level parking structures unless they come from a big city.
Yeah.
And they're used to that. But, knowing that was the question people would always ask on social or through email or when we were at an event is, where can I park? There's no parking. Oh, it's so frustrating. Yeah. And so obviously, that presented a need right there. And then as we really started thinking about it, it's like, as something is being developed, how do we adopt that where it becomes part of our operations, something that's just, this is a useful tool. It's part of the experience. It's baked into how we operate as an organization. And so I'm really excited about what we came up with TRiP. But I'd love to have Anthony answer the question about, why we selected Modi. And I don't know if we need to dive in later to kind of
totally.
We'll do that.
I mean, I'm a big nuts and bolts kind of guy, but we'll get into that. But Anthony, yes, give us a little bit about why the Modi was chosen, and also, in particular, what fascinates you about what's about to happen with TRiP and Tempe.
Yeah, so just recognizing what our challenges are with individuals not being able to find parking in a developing city. Throughout some of my travels, you go to big cities like Chicago or New York, they all have the locals there have an app or something that they can go to understand, like, when's a train coming, when's the next bus, something that they're constantly looking at and understanding where and how they can get around. And so I'm just kind of taking that, not really reinventing the wheel, but just recognizing the need that, okay, we're getting to that point where let's be proactive about how we're going to, market and brand our transportation systems and parking. Yeah. And before it becomes a problem. It's already starting to sound like it's challenging for individuals. So let's jump on this. Yeah. We went out to RFP. We spoke to a number of different technology providers that are in this space of providing some sort of web application that can integrate with all of our parking systems. And it really started there. And as we were going through, those motions of interviewing each of those technology providers, Modi was the one that really stood out because I understood that it wasn't just about parking. Like, we need to really start focusing on all modes of transportation. Yes. And not be just agnostic to a single occupancy vehicle and vehicles coming in. We have, a streetcar that runs around our downtown. We have a light rail that runs through it, connecting other cities to our downtown. No, we have micromobility, scooters, bikes. Our city, as you mentioned earlier, is very walkable. Yes. So we want to make sure that we're promoting all of that and ensuring that we're being efficient in providing those different types of routes to those types of users. So we have the parking finder portion of it already developed. Awesome. And it's all integrated, so it tells you, real time parking availability in all of our surface lots and garages in the downtown. I love that. It'll route you to those spaces. It's powered by Google, so once you select the location that you want to go to, it'll navigate you there. You can pay through the application as well. You don't need to download it. Again, it's a web application, but if you're a frequent flyer and you're constantly in the area, go ahead and download it, pin it to your phone, and so
definitely
you can easily access it. And then we're still working on it. Just like technology, you want to continue
keep it updated. Yep.
So we're working on integrations with Valley Metro that they manage the streetcar and the light rail. In our Orbit system, the bus system that's a neighborhood circulator that connects our neighborhoods to the downtown, to show real time where those assets are. in our built environment. So then it takes the guesswork out. It takes the confusion, the anxiety out of, did I just miss a train? Where's the train at? Or where's the bus? Is it
Yeah,
coming? Is it
yeah,
down the road? Is it around the corner?
yeah,
You can see it in the palm of your hand. We're
yeah.
not
That's
having to
awesome.
build a different additional infrastructure or putting signs up, digital signs or anything like that. You're holding that in your hand already.
Yeah.
So that was the thought where
That's
we're in the digital age.
Yeah, that's quite interesting too, because again, the idea of technology is to make our lives easier. One of the things that we forget about too is that this thing in our hand has one of the smartest computers. I mean, it's way smarter than even some of the old space shuttles that have taken us to the moon. It's really quite interesting in the sense of like we no longer need the, like you said, the digital signs that are pointing us to the right direction or just kind of constantly updating in our face. We have something that is easily usable and also accessible to us. Sometimes even in the sense of accessibility in the some people have harder time reading or cannot actually read and just use their phone more of as a translator. And that in itself is very important to usability for all guests. And one of the things that I would, again, we're kind of getting into is like your excitement for this new technology is what, again, I just really would love to hear from your standpoint as someone who is, working constantly to update the or working alongside to update this and keep it constantly updated and just beautiful. It's like, what excites you about having some of this data collection for the future?
Data collection is major in all excuse me, is big in all of just decision making
Yeah.
and being able to ensure that what we're doing and the decisions that we're making, how we're growing the downtown or
Mm-hmm.
even just the city as a whole, the data really speaks to how our end users are interacting with our downtown, our
Yeah.
residents, um, business dwellers, office dwellers,
Yeah.
anybody who has a touch point in our city.
Mm-hmm.
And well, without going out and doing surveys and
Yeah.
going through that painstaking, process, we now
Mm-hmm.
have this information that we can see clicks,
Yeah.
where people are interested in, how they're getting their, you know, what their interactions are with our downtown and using that data to
Yeah.
improve that overall experience for the end users. The data collection is huge, is a huge
Oh,
piece
I
in
I
all of this.
imagine like it's just well, I'll pivot back to you, Bethany. One of the things that we're talking about is data collection, and one of the things I would love to ask you is, as you're starting to see some of the end result or one of the end kind of what comes out of it, the outcome. Is there any thought into like as we grow or as we start to see some of the non-visible things that we kind of experience or just interact with on a day-to-day basis, is that understanding or whatever the result of the outcome and understanding what like, oh, hey, maybe we can add another event here, or is that something that you guys are using to your benefit, is like understanding, okay, there's a peak here, maybe we can either diverge or influence in a certain way for the city of Tempe?
I mean, we definitely look at the data for planning purposes for
Sure.
events.
Yeah.
We also use any of the data. We're sharing information with our businesses so that they can be informed.
Got it.
For us, it's always looking at customer journeys.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is the experience of getting here and how they're getting around and looking at things like how does an external event that happened downtown
Mm-hmm.
impact, the driving the tourism or bringing people to the stores. I mean, those things, that's important information for the
Absolutely.
businesses to have. It's important information for us to have. And from my perspective, I manage all of the touch points, for our marketing and our outreach. So our website and social
Yeah.
and ads and things like that. And so for me, I'm always looking at trends and data to better understand how to get information in front of people that's going to make it easy for them
Yeah.
to come downtown. And again, to just be informed, right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
the thing that I love about TRiP is that, I mean, there isn't any other tool that's like this. Kind of going back to what I had said before, that people ask, where can I park? So I was always trained, from a customer experience standpoint, is look for the question behind the question.
Yeah.
People don't want to just know where parking is. What they really want to know is, if I come downtown to that particular place, is it going to be available? Is it going to be crowded? Is this going to be closest to where I'm trying to go? So really being honed in on that experience piece. Of what I love about TRiP is that this data and all this information is showing people what is available in real time.
Yeah.
And as the application is in use longer, I mean, like a year from now, we'll have a lot of information about what trends look like when people are coming to these events and where they're parking and what places fill up.
Exactly.
And so I just love that it makes it easy for people to plan and get all of those questions answered. Like, okay, I'm coming to this event. I know based on TRiP, like this is probably the area that's going to be busiest. I could just go a block or two away and have a much more enjoyable experience getting in and getting out.
Yeah.
Which is huge. I mean, all of us experience that at some degree when we go to someplace new.
Again, it's all of this is just to say, like, we're very excited for this to come out, and the fact that you guys have spent so much time to make sure that it is one part user friendly, but also the other part just as informative as it is something that I have kudos all around for every person on the team, because it's not easy. You guys are generating massive amount of data and just trying to give it in a sense that is digestible for the end user. And so now I kind of come to Anthony. I love being in the weeds, so I would love to understand just overall, it's like, how do you take, any information that comes from this Tempe collection, the TRiP collection, and kind of format it for the city of Tempe board members, like the mayor and all the others that are there? And then also, it's like, how many times a week or routinely do you check the data and like compare it on an Excel spreadsheet or whatever it may be? But it's like, what are the types of things or data that you're looking at on the daily?
Yeah, no, good question. So on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly, we want to look at occupancy rate.
Got it.
For the various garages and surface lots to really understand what our demand is, peak demand. Yeah. Just day to day. And then also during certain events, so that we know kind of what the impact is going to be, or we can help predict some of that.
Sure.
As far as using that information for our transportation or development. What's the DRC? Development Review Commission. I'm used to the acronyms.
Yeah, it's okay.
I want to be transparent.
Whatever keeps everything kind of snap shut and very quick is like, that's how my brain works. It's like I'm acronyms all the way.
Yeah. So for the various departments like that, it's critical for them to be well informed, especially economic development, community development, when they're looking at a proposed development site plan, and a developer is saying, hey, I want to build a mixed use tower that 30 stories. The first two levels are going to be retail, and then we're going to have 400 units. Each unit has 2 to 3 bedrooms in it.
Got it.
They need to understand too, in that area, what is the parking availability?
Yeah.
Not only for those residents, but those visitors, the people coming to the retail and everything else.
Yep.
And if mayor, council, and these departments aren't very well educated on what is the parking demand in this area, then they're not capable of providing feedback to these developers saying, hey, no, you need to build X amount of parking spaces for that not to spill over into our neighborhoods, or push over into ASU and cause problems at ASU, with their parking and their students and everything else.
Yeah, it's kind of nice because it keeps everyone in check of like, hey, like this is like we're developing. We have all these things going on. Here is what we see right now, and then here is what we anticipate for the future. Can you provide this window for that? And so it's like it's really quite like helpful and so great.
Yeah, it can be challenging. 'Cause
Yes.
there's also where you look at the whole downtown. It's like, oh, you have 20,000 parking spaces. Like, I don't need to build any more parking. Like, I see on, the west side of Mill Avenue, parking occupancy peak, in any of the garages or surface lots, it might only reach 50%. So there's tons of parking on that side.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you also have to take in consideration if you're building something on the east side of Mill Avenue, are people willing to walk,
Oh, yeah.
those 4 or 5 blocks in
Mhm.
the heat, or do they feel that sense of anxiety where it's like, well, I don't want to park all the way over there and then have to walk all the way over here.
Mhm.
And what if I have to run back and add more time to my parking session? And then all of a sudden the east side of Mill Avenue doesn't have enough parking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people then stop coming to those destinations or those merchants because it's, well, the city said that there's parking, but it's 4 or 5 blocks away. And to try to change that perception of people where it's walkable, it's okay. It's like you parking in a Walmart parking lot and then walking to the store.
Yeah.
Like it's the same distance, but to
Yeah.
try to get people to really recognize that and be open to, okay, yes, I can park on this side of Mill Avenue and walk
Mhm.
across the street and a couple blocks down, and I can still, visit my favorite restaurant or
Yeah.
retail spot and do the things.
I love it.
So yeah, that's a challenge.
Absolutely. I mean, in anything, especially when you're dealing with large amounts of people, large amounts of just different entities coming together. It's just overall, it's like you can't please everyone, but you try your best, and that's overall like the intention of something where everyone's networking and connecting. The hopefully the end result is something comprehensive and usable for everyone, and just how hopefully everyone manages to work together for a positive outcome. So thank you again for giving us a little bit of that like day-to-day stuff, because again, I look at it as this is something that you guys have worked so hard on. We should at least like find some semblance of why you're still passionate about something that is, again, one part difficult, but one part just as exciting for the future for the city. So thank you both for just giving us, again, a little bit of insight on that portion of it. What I'd like to orient our conversation to towards the end here is just like future and goals and stuff like that for not only yourselves, but overall for your department. If you guys have anything that you are anticipating or just overall generally excited for, I would love to pitch it to Bethany. Just again, we're looking at something that is one part data driven, but also it affects the human scale. So I just, again, as someone who's dealing more on the human factor, like what about this, again, for the future of event planning, overall, like things that are affecting the storefronts as well? Like, do you have some sort of real joy of like the future of using this individual piece of technology?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited about it. As Anthony had mentioned, when selecting Modi, we have the parking finder piece.
Yeah.
And that's great. But also what we mentioned earlier is, there is more than just parking that's downtown. We have the light rail and the streetcar and the scooters and the bus. I mean, there's so many ways to get to and through downtown Tempe, but so many people just don't know. When I look back, I think we've done a great job telling our story, but obviously, I mean, there's always opportunity to improve upon that. And as we increase our digital footprint, as we roll out tools like Tempe TRiP, where it's more than just parking, it's more that it's getting around, it's making it easier for people to come downtown to go and visit and support the places that you love. It's been fun rolling this out. I mean, gosh, what are we like? We were only 3.5 months after first rolling out TRiP.
Yeah.
And so we have some great features, but there's more to come in the coming months. There's going to be more enhancements made to it, because that's the beauty of working with a web application.
Yeah.
Is as we use it and we discover opportunities or we hear feedback from stakeholders, the community says, hey, this is great. Have you thought about this? All of those things can be worked into a roadmap.
Yeah.
And we consider Modi to be a very strong partner with us in mobility and improving the experience for people moving to and through downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the amazing thing about this that gives me joy, is it's going to make it easier to get people downtown. People who haven't been here before, they're going to love the tool because it's easy. It's right there on your phone, which you always
Exactly.
have with you. And it's giving you something that no other tool is offering you in the entire state of Arizona.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it.
That's amazing.
It's cool and it's new. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Anthony, same question, but if I can kind of orient you towards maybe even the back end, or just overall a sense of like, this piece of technology is like Bethany said, unique to what you guys are doing. Is there any communication with other cities, maybe Flagstaff, Tucson, was there any interest from some of the other cities, or even overall, it's like, as you work with Modi and some of the tech that comes from them, or it's like, what future endeavors for you as a department VP, like what excites you for that next to come?
Yeah. So knowing that, like Bethany said, we're the first ones in the state of Arizona to do this. That's exciting. Again, I mentioned we're really not recreating the wheel, but
Yeah.
we're just being proactive about our development in Tempe and in Arizona. There has been some conversations with some of the outside cities.
Awesome.
We're the tip of the spear on this one, and so there's going to be some learning points there. Figuring out best practices.
Yes.
Understanding how we can really leverage the data, whether it's with traffic management stuff, road restrictions.
Yep.
During events, how we can actually make things more efficient for our patrons who visit our downtown and our city.
Yeah.
And really what really excites me about it is that we're doing something that no one else in the area is doing.
Exactly.
And when we first went about this, ASU is a big proponent of downtown Tempe. They play a pivotal role in our ecosystem. And I do have some partners with Arizona State on their parking and transportation side of things. I've worked with them for last 10 plus years.
Okay.
And we have a really good relationship. And as we were talking about, we as in the city of Tempe, talking about, okay, we need to do something different to address these challenges. It's not about ASU versus the city or vice versa. It's about our end users.
Yeah.
And we share the same end users.
Yeah.
And so how can we best serve between the two of us, the big entities, the city of Tempe and ASU, those individuals who live, work, and play in our downtown?
Absolutely.
And, bringing ASU along, the RFP process, seeing their excitement about it and them understanding and seeing the feasibility of how we can implement this and how this will positively impact, their students and residents alike. The city was able to move a little bit quicker on implementing our side of it. And now hearing recently that ASU is also getting on board.
Nice.
With growing the presence of the tool and its capabilities. Throughout their district as well. So
I imagine
the further expansion of it.
Yeah, that's like what I'm in the back of my head when you have an entity that has separate campuses that span different parts of the city. it's a doorway into accessibility with different users and allowing them to allow you to inject more knowledge and more people who know about it, and just overall just a sense of more people means more data, which also allows for more opportunities to show other entities that this works. And so I think overall, it's like you guys working with such a diverse group of people is going to allow overall Tempe TRiP to expand into something very beautiful. And I am very excited to use it myself the next time that I'm heading towards that way, because again, I'm someone who really cherishes my memories there, but also someone who loves the going down on a special occasion. I'm definitely an ASU football goer. So it's like, those are types of things that, again, I will take the light rail because I want to avoid a lot of that traffic and just be able to go downtown and know the accessibility, the routes and everything like that. And so also just like, hey, it's going to get crowded here in about 45 minutes to an hour. You might want to leave to head towards your trip. So it's like overall, it's like, I think for Tempe TRiP, there's always going to be something new that comes along, but also it's just a tool that is super usable and super exciting and super helpful to those who are new to the area and those who are also just using it on a daily basis to avoid some frustration on movability, accessibility, and avoid any encounters in that. So thank you both for being here, first off, because that really means a lot to me that the city looks towards other entities other than big market names that use to get what they want out into the worlds. And so you guys allowing us to share that is really special to me because, again, as a two-time, again, like you, Anthony, graduate from ASU, it is something that will always be dear to my heart. So with that being said, I want to give Bethany and Anthony the platform to just share a little bit more of tell us where we can download it. Also, if you want to give your personal email out so that maybe an end user can help you or give you some, reach out in some sort of fashion, now's the chance to just give you the floor and promote. Go right ahead, Bethany, you first.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, we do have information available. It's tempetrip.com is the URL. We wanted to make it really simple to be able to get information to the tool. The beauty of it, no download required. It's a web application that you can view on your desktop or on your mobile device as well. So you could just bookmark it and have it there on your homepage. Also, with tempetrip.com, I just want to say when you're on that page, you're actually at downtown Tempe's website.
Nice.
And there's a lot of really great resources there. In addition to Tempe TRiP, we have the calendar of events of everything that's happening downtown, places to eat, places to drink. I mean, we wanted to make it as easy as possible that when people are downtown, you can find your way to get to and through, but also everything that you need to have the best visit downtown. We just always want to make it as easy as possible for people to come down and enjoy the district. And naturally, if there are any questions or, hey, we're always looking for feedback on things, Bethany at downtowntempe.com. I'm always happy to answer any of those questions. And of course, I just have to say this, if you really want to get the inside scoop on things happening downtown, follow us, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Downtown. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on social, and trust me when I say there's always something going on. Over 40 annual events and 160 plus street level businesses downtown, and 60% of them are local. So I have to say that because I'm always blown away at those numbers, because there is always something happening.
Absolutely. Anthony, please give us a little bit more of how to reach you, and if anything that Bethany missed out, please fill us in.
Bethany does a great job of covering everything.
That was really good.
Just one or two other touch points. You could also reach us at parking at downtowntempe.com. We have great knowledgeable people that know everything about it. Monthly parking, free parking doesn't really exist, but there is some a little bit.
There are very few spots.
Yeah. There's all the ins and outs about just parking mobility in downtown.
Absolutely.
And then also, Bethany covered it, just our downtown Tempe.com. Click on parking or get here. It shows you all the different ways you can travel to and through our downtown, and gives you a lot of different insights there.
Well, beautiful. Thank you both again. It's just so much for me to. I have a real deep appreciation. I cannot say this enough. When we heard that you guys were coming on, I was floored. I was like super floored. I was like, I started this in literally there was a couple of garages that are over by Four Peaks, and literally out of one of those garages, I started this. And again, this is all coming from a place of just wanting to learn about where I live and where I grow up and the people who make up that land, and to have the people that, again, make the most, have the city itself that I started in reach out and or at least want to be on the show is just, again, it's an incredible thing for me. And thank you both for your time. Before we go, you can hear every episode of our podcast at findingarizonapodcast.com, social media wise, Finding Arizona Podcast under everything. And last but not least, we end our show every time with a kisses, hugs, and belly rubs to our four-legged friends. And we will see you next time.